The Vancouver Canucks just lost in a shootout, the Super Bowl is today, and my voice is absolutely killing me. It really hurts to swallow. I hope I don't have the coronavirus, which is most likely not the case, but still, it kinda does hurt. All this stuff considered, we're only making one video today, so I apologize for that. This is a topic that I said yesterday that I was going to cover today, so let's go ahead and proceed with that idea, shall we? Let's talk about Kaapo Kakko, the 2019 NHL Entry Draft's second overall pick, taken by the New York Rangers, one spot after Jack Hughes. Now, we already talked about Jack Hughes, and we talked about how he is on pace to having the worst first overall rookie season in the last 10 years. And don't get me wrong, Kaapo Kakko, who went second overall in that draft, isn't doing too hot either. Now, I know I said he's not doing all too hot, but the reality is he's got 16 points in 46 games, which is pretty good all things considered. However, this video is titled, Does Kaapo Kakko Need AHL Time? And the reason I'm asking that is because the way we're watching Kaapo Kakko develop in this NHL in his first year definitely is not what we expected. As we talked about, Kakko has 16 points in 46 games. He averages about 15 minutes of time on ice, and he's on the power play too. 16 points in 46 games isn't bad by any means, especially for an 18-year-old. However, it's what we expected from Kaapo Kakko at the end of last season, and what we're seeing today with the New York Rangers this season that's giving me the idea on whether or not sending him down to the AHL would be something that the Rangers should consider. In fact, I'm not even the first one to bring this up. There are tons of articles, tons of Twitter posts, tons of people on Reddit talking about this same idea. So why exactly is that? Why do people believe that sending Kaapo Kakko, an NHL-capable 18-year-old, to the AHL would be the best move forward? Well, it's mostly due to the differences in how he played the game in the Liiga last year and how he's playing in the NHL this season. Kaapo Kakko was drafted second overall because he was so incredibly dangerous, so incredibly hot, confident, and overall willing to take the game into his own hands a year ago. Kaapo Kakko could control the game however he pleased. Anytime he had the puck in the offensive zone, it was extraordinarily tough to shove him off of it. He could win those board battles, he could open up some space, he can find guys in front, and if he wanted, he could shove his way to the front of the net and score himself that way. The guy played his draft year with a load of confidence, and everybody was super excited to see that translate into the NHL. Many people thought that Kaapo Kakko was at least a 50-point guaranteed player. But right now, he's on pace for about 30. And it's kind of funny because the Kaapo Kakko that we saw last year, that could totally dominate the play at will, who could open up scoring chances, create space, and control the puck with tons of pressure at such high levels of competence, isn't really there anymore. Kaapo Kakko, when he plays with the Rangers, absolutely does not play the same way he did when he was dominating the Liiga last year. He plays different. Instead, Kaapo Kakko goes out there, he looks a little bit tired. He's not getting the right bounces that he wants, and he's not exhibiting the same puck control that he was able to last year. It's all a matter of a few things. Some people are bringing up the confidence, some people are bringing up the fatigue. He's played more games this season than he's used to playing, and he's still got a whole bunch more to go. And for the most part, I can agree with both of these two statements. First off, the confidence. He's not playing with the same swagger as he did last year. I don't want to say it's guaranteed because the NHL is so much harder than the Liiga is. No, Kaapo Kakko was dominating men last year in Finland. Coming into the NHL, that edge is not really there anymore. The fatigue is also an issue in that sometimes he just looks tired out there. Kaapo Kakko plays today with the Rangers as a normal shut-down line kind of guy would, who gets thrown out there just to give the other higher forwards some time to rest. He doesn't have the same edge like he did last year, which is why some people are suggesting, hey, send this guy to the AHL. Now obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say that Kaapo Kakko is doomed eternally, because I still think he has really good solid point per game potential in this NHL league. He still will be a dominant power forward, hybrid playmaker player as well, and his best days are definitely ahead of him. However, with the way things have gone this season, and how expectations have kind of flubbed, not just with Kakko, but with the Rangers as a whole, would it not be an idea to send him down to the Hartford Wolfpack? Either just for this year, or maybe even a portion in the next year, because AHL time can be very valuable for players who are either lacking confidence or younger players who do need a little bit more time to transition properly. This happened with Kotkaniemi literally yesterday, in what many Habs fans thought was the best move possible, sending him to Laval, where he actually has a chance to get his game back. Because Kotkaniemi had a very different kind of transition from year 1 in the NHL to year 2. That edge that was there in Finland the year before and in year 1 disappeared this year. So they sent him to the AHL with the opportunity to find that edge back. It's actually kind of funny, because right after Kotkaniemi was sent down to the AHL, I saw a lot of people saying that the Rangers should do the same with Kakko, and this was coming from Rangers fans. It was really interesting, and that kind of opened my eyes to this subject in general, and after thinking about it for a little bit, I was like, yeah, I can understand where they're coming from, especially watching Kakko this year. Earlier on, a lot of people were complaining, oh, it's the ice time, it's the way he's being used in the lineup, it's all that stuff. But Kaapo Kakko today, as I said at the beginning, 15 minutes of ice time, he's playing with Cheadle, he's playing on the power play, he's playing with these other players that a lot of people are probably going to say they're pretty good. So, it's very interesting. And I know a lot of that does have to do with the team that he's on as well. The Rangers are in a weird spot, just like the Devils are. When we talked about Jack Hughes and how he's slumping, we had to mention that the Devils as a whole are also slumping as well. So for the Rangers and Kakko, the fact that they're still in rebuild mode, kind of, they're looking like they could eventually exit rebuild mode a little bit earlier than people thought, obviously that does have to be taken into consideration. But does that not align a little bit more with the idea that Kaapo Kakko is going to get better later? As we said, his best days aren't going to be today, they're going to be in a few years. So, if you're a Rangers team that can indeed afford to lose, do you think sending Kaapo Kakko to the AHL would be the worst thing in the world? Because I don't think it would be. I think it would give Kaapo Kakko the opportunity to really find that edge, and find what made his game great in Finland once again. Playing 20 minutes a night as a number 1 center maybe even would be interesting. Kaapo Kakko has been played on the wing this entire year, but we know from last year that Kaapo Kakko can, once in a while, play center. And if you're taking a look at it, centers are more valuable than wingers are, and Kaapo Kakko last year was indeed pretty darn good as a center. He didn't spend the entire year in that spot, but he played well when he was there. So, I think that's also something that the Rangers would probably want to explore down the line. Either playing Kakko as a center, sending him to the AHL as a center and have him develop his game that way, and exploring his growth development paths in that direction. So, what do you think? Am I absolutely crazy for suggesting that Kaapo Kakko could indeed use AHL time? Not because I think he sucks, he's actually been pretty okay, but because we know that there's so much more available at his disposal. Because he's not the same player as he was last year. That edge is kinda gone. So, would sending him to the AHL be the right move in order to help him find that edge? Or maybe keeping him up with the Rangers, have him grind out this season, get used to the speed, get used to the pace of play, and have him come back next season as a fully ready-to-go player with that edge once again. There are tons of options, and I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. So, hope you enjoyed this video, Social 99, and bye.